All right, y'all. First and foremost, give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and his son, the Mashiach, who some call Yahweh Shai, Yeshua, Yehoshua, Yashayah. We mostly know as Jesus Christ. First off, salute Sakar. Salute brothers at Sakar, man. They've done great work over the years, over the, over a decade out here on the highways and byways, waking up the people. And have, definitely done a great work. Definitely have expanded and increased in knowledge and increased their numbers, waking people up to this truth. Bringing people back to the law, statutes, and commandments. So salute to them for that. And I clicked on this video, and the brother was giving a testimony, a great testimony, but it seemed the testimony got a little tainted. And I had been hearing some things within Israel. Some things have been coming across my radar. And, it's just things I can't really, because you hear one side of the story, and it's not in the public. Something's a private matter that, brothers are sharing. And it's not in the public. Once it hit the public, we bringing it out. But things like this that I heard in this video, and we're going to talk about it today. And I think much of this is going on in Israel. Jokers ain't talking about it. And the thing is, if you do feel this way, let's speak on it. Bring it to the forefront. Let's speak on these things. Let's challenge these things. So let's let this thing play and we'll see what we're talking about here.
Book of Sirach, chapter 32 and verse 17. A sinful man will not be reproved.
Talk about a sinful man will not be reproved. A sinful man will not be corrected. Right? That was my mentality. I went through. Listen, I was on YouTube. Show me weed the Bible. Someone say cannabosum. Hi, show me with it. Then I was like, nah, nigga, that ain't right. And I'm gonna tell you why it's not right. Because cannabosum would be what they would call it in whatever language they talking about. But when you're reading it in the Hebrew, that's not what it's saying. Right. So it's not the same thing. They're inserting that. Read.
A sinful man will not be reproved.
Go ahead.
But findeth an excuse according to his will.
That's a very powerful verse. Very powerful verse. And it's a lot of truth in that, man. We're going to try to justify. A sinner will try to justify it. And we've justified a lot of things in this community. There's brothers who've justified pedophilia. There's brothers justifying prostitution. There's brothers justifying selling off women that ain't even theirs. Justifying drugs, justifying porn.
I wanted to keep smoking. So I kept making excuses like, nah, it can't be, there's got to be something in the Bible that says like it, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then it was like, there's nothing wrong with consuming it. It's the defiling of the temple because we're smoking it.
Says nothing wrong. So he's talking about giving his testimony on beating the cigarette, beating the smoking and the marijuana. Shouts out to the brother. I had the same fight myself. And but they out there in Cali. You know what I'm saying? They out there in Cali with the smoke shops everywhere and edibles everywhere. And so that allotted him another excuse. And that could have been a setback for me also if I was in somewhere like that. You know what I'm saying? Where that's so prevalent and you could just get those things, But 10 years ago in Atlanta, you couldn't get nothing like that. You couldn't really, you had to make them yourself. You had to be around a whole bunch of And I'm telling you, you know, white people were really the first ones. You know, I ain't gonna say they the first, but anybody time I seen somebody had some weed, brownies or weed, Rice Krispie treats, it was white people. I remember one brother was at the job, you know, selling them. You know, selling them to everybody. You know, the whole darn staff was eating darn, and it was a bakery and eating Rice Krispie treats. And this joker couldn't bake. He was the darn driver. He was supplying everybody with laced Rice Krispie treats. You know, so that wasn't, but I could have fell into that temptation had it been there. I'm not gonna lie. I remember one brother coming to me saying, "Hey man, you know what, man? You know, we was teaching against it. You know, I was doing a lesson against it, and the brother, you know, shouted out in the class like, you know what? Yeah, that's why we put it in a tea." And I'm like, "Oh, brother, I didn't want to know that about you." You know, when you say that, you know, I'm not thinking, "Hey man, you put it in a tea." When you say that out loud, I'm thinking, "Man, brother, you smoking that weed. You ain't putting that weed in no tea, brother. Like, you dealing with this lesson, but that flesh is, you want to get up and get up out of here." You know, I said, "Yeah, man, I put it in a tea." And man, you ain't wasting that weed on no tea, man. Ain't nobody drinking no tea weed, man, and putting honey and sugar in it, man. I don't know about that. You know, hit the comments for all my tea weed drinkers. I want to see something. I want to learn something about you jokers, man. Whoever putting the tea, whoever got the herbal tea bags, whoever crunching up the Zaza and putting it in a little tea bag and a discern and dipping, waking up in the morning and dipping your tea, making your marijuana tea, your Zaza tea, you know, and what you mixing it with? You know, are you putting Splenda in it? Are you, do you add cream? What's going on, man? And you know, it's just what that brother's saying. That he came to the realization that, you know what? I can eat it. It's only me defiling myself if I can eat it. And see, I would bring, you know, we have the dialogues. I would bring the same methodology in. Like, okay, well, can you eat the you know, heron brownies? Could you eat? Would that be okay? Would it be okay to fry your chicken in Coke? You know, to mix a little cocaine in your you frying up some fish, man. You frying up some trout, and you done put a half an ounce of Coke in there and mixed it together and cook it up. Is that okay? You know, to consume it, to eat it, to you know, some people, you know, you know about this, you dealing with these streets, man. A lot of jokers don't like to inhale the stuff that some jokers put it up they backside. Is that okay? Are you defiling yourself when you put it up, like when you do it that way? All right, what are we doing? What are we talking about? What are we talking about? What is the methodology? And again, I'm not trying to condemn the brothers. Just, you know, it's things we have to work. We have to work out as a community. Is it okay? Because a lot of this is going on. You may think it's not going on, but jokers is passing them. They, you know, especially them camps in Cali. They passing them. They, you know, every darn feast day, somebody popping in with the treats and the Manischewitz. Jokers is breaking edibles and drinking the wine. Talking about, this is the flesh of my flesh. This is, This is my flesh, which was this is my blood, which was shed for you. This is my flesh. You jokers is passing around the darn Rice Krispie treat edible, man.
Consuming it.
Nothing wrong with consuming it. Is that what the brother's saying?
Gotta be something in the Bible that says I could, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then it was like, there's nothing wrong with consuming it. It's the defiling of the temple because we're smoking it. So even I went years without even having an edible or anything. You know, now I have my edibles and stuff like that, but
Now I have my edibles. And if that's the case, who ain't eating edibles? What ex-pothead ain't eating edibles? See? And not only that, you know, you can also, once you go to that extent, you can also be an edible dealer. You can also be out here being a dealer of, we got brothers that are dealers of the edibles. You know, when they out there in Cali, you know, oh, you got a camp that's in Cali. I'm not going to put that on these brothers. I'm sure these brothers wouldn't do nothing like that. But let's say you got a camp that's out there in Cali. And they got their edibles and they coming to the feast day. You know, brothers may cross the line with them party treats. Brothers may cross the line and then they mess around and get locked up and brothers asking for alms and donations like, you know what, we got to get up out of here. Does it fall under, but it's legal. It's legal in some places. You know, brothers may only even have the feast days in a place like Denver. These jokers having a whole meal infused with marijuana. You know, that's the culture out there in a lot of these places. Is that a sin? And that's ultimately what we getting down to. Is that a sin, or are we justifying this, saying that, hey, man, you can consume it. We can make teas. We can drink it. It's a medicine. We can rub it on our feet. We can put it in the cocoa butter oil. You can cook with it. It's make good. You can make it. You can mix it with your canola. You can sprinkle it on your salad. Is this what we're saying? Is this sin? Y'all hit the comments. Let us know. Which, you know, it's a thin line. And some brothers are, you know, but we're not having the discussion. So, again, the flesh is going to say, you know, that flesh, just like this verse that he's reading, there's Sirach 32:17. And like this thing will get on you. And you be like, you know what? That's okay. And them brownies have gotten, them brownies ain't like they used to be. You know, I've never been on them like that, but the way I'm hearing jokers talk about them now, brothers is like they worse than the weed. It's worse than smoking it. You know, they darn near hallucinating on the brownies. You know, I done seen some video with the dogs done messed around. They got the brownie, man. The dog can't even operate. They almost want to take the dog to the darn emergency vet because the dog all slobbering over and going, you know. Anyway, let me go let this thing go.
you know, even I went something in the Bible that
God is so good.
like that, but you know, even I went something in the Bible that
A sinful man will not be reproved,
go ahead.
but findeth an excuse according to his will.
I wanted to keep smoking, so I kept making excuses like, you know, nah, it can't be. There's got to be something in the Bible that says I could, you know what I'm saying? Right. And then it was like, there's nothing wrong with consuming it. It's the defiling of the temple because we're smoking it. So even I went years without even having an edible or anything. You know, now I have my edibles and stuff like that, but you know, that
God is so good. He said, now I have my edibles. He said, nothing wrong with consuming it. Now I have my edibles. And man, God is so good.
was one of those things that we had that I had to kick too. And I did all that cold turkey through the
And then that's what I'm saying. I'm kind of confused here because he's saying it's one of those things I had to quit.
things that
too.
we had that I had to kick too. And I did all that.
And I don't know if that's to the edibles or to the.
I have my edibles and stuff like that, but you know, that was one of those things that we had that I had to kick too.
And I think he's just talking about this as the whole conversation about the weed, not just the edibles, but you know, it's just one of those situations that we had to get off of the smoking the marijuana, which a lot of us had to, because that's just part of the Negroism. And I'm gonna tell you too, my addiction was connected to the video game. I had to let the video game go too. You know, I had to smoke while I was playing the game. I couldn't play the game, and once I stopped one, I had to stop the other. The game wasn't no fun to me if I didn't have that other activity doing it at the same time.
Get all that cold turkey through the spirit of power of the Most High.
That's right.
You know, out of nowhere. And I hadn't rolled up a blunt in, what, 8 years or so right now. Haven't picked up a cigarette. It took me time to not be around it, to where it's like it don't even faze me. And I didn't know how bad I smelled. How bad I smelled when you around somebody and you smoking, until you start smelling other people smoking and you sober now. You're like, damn man, there's a cigarette. That's how I used to smell.
So yeah, man, we pray this thing was edifying. We'll see y'all on the next one, y'all. Y'all hit the comments, man. Is the edibles? Are we justifying the edibles, or the edibles? Are the edibles sin and we're just trying to justify it? Or does the text just clearly say that, you know, we can eat it? You know, eating it is not defiling the temple. And if you feel that way, what's your methodology for coming to that conclusion? We'll see y'all on the next one. Or I can already I already know where y'all going. We'll see y'all on the next one. Shalom.